And welcome once again. Now let's get into the newspapers this morning and share with you the major stories this Tuesday morning. Joining us is the publisher of the Niche newspaper, Ikechukwu Amaechi. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Mr. Amaechi. I love that you're wearing olive. You know, that's literally the best color after red. But happy Edo election morning. Happy what? Happy
going to court.
Now, Shehu Sani has coined the word. He calls it go to court.
Let's start with this Nigerian newspapers this morning. Big story there says fuel crisis. National Assembly set to probe rot in petroleum sector. FEC approves construction of 40 houses for judges in Abuja. Wike discloses termination of contract for development of Maitama 2. Okay. Edo, songs of joy and lamentation in Okpebolo, Igodalo camps. APC won fair and square, says Oshiomhole, and of course the PDP candidate says it was not transparent. Final story this morning, Forex volatility, significant threats to our operation, says the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Those are the big stories on this Nigeria. Let's go to the Punch newspaper.
All right. The Punch newspaper this morning, the big story there says, Edo poll, PDP demands fresh collation as Labour Party Akpata alleges fraud. We started off the show this morning taking his press release. INEC must abide by Section 65 of Electoral Act 2022, says Damagum. Poll was a transaction, not election, says Labour Party. Still a statement made by Olumide Akpata. Litigation claims against 6 banks near 2 trillion naira. Police probe alleged killing of 3 by Lagos teenage driver. That was a really sad one. I don't know if you saw the pictures of a young teenage boy driving a car that unfortunately killed some of his friends. I saw the photos yesterday. It was very gory. Passengers panic as plane windshield breaks in Abuja. Profubara local government caretaker chairman dump PDP for APP. You don't mean it. Why federal government must end petrol subsidy now, says Dangote. FEC plans fuel tankers park for Dangote refinery to tackle congestion. National Assembly resumes today, demands 2025 budget. That's all. Let's move over to Daily Independence.
All right, final newspaper this morning, I believe. Edo gubernatorial poll results were manipulated, says Yaga Africa. PDP heads to court, says nation's democracy is under threat. We lost the power of money bags buying votes, says Olumide Akpata. We'll use Edo templates in Ondo and Anambra, Ganduje says. That should be scary. For, those 2 states. Peter Obi describes outcome of Edo poll as state capture. Ondo, not Edo, will protect our votes, says PDP candidate. Okay. Kogi Assembly seeks immediate sack of EFCC chair Olukoyede. And also Federal FEC case committee to reassess Aludam and others across Nigeria. Committees. Nigeria demands permanent Security Council seats for Africa, and also acting CJ warns heads of court on conflicting rulings, ex parte orders. I think we should just stop here and get into it while you're chipping on other newspapers. Let's start with Edo State, the numerous conversations around it. Where would you like to pick up from?
Well, it is, to say again, déjà vu. I'm not too sure there is any Nigerian that is surprised at what happened in Edo State on Saturday. The conversation, we've all come back. I've been on radio and television since Saturday, and it is the same conversation again. What has changed from 2023? Nothing, practically nothing. INEC has done what it knows how best to do, to generate controversy rather than conducting free, fair, credible election that people can say, okay, congratulations to whoever is declared the winner. But how do you congratulate the person declared winner when the process is, look, almost all, in fact, all the civil society groups that monitored this election, whether it is the Situation Room, whether it is the Yaga Africa, all of them have come out to say that this election was fundamentally flawed. Yaga Africa particularly said that the processes were flawed. And look, I watched Samson Itodo, I think the executive director of Young Africa, on television yesterday night, and he was graphic in his description of what happened in Edo State. In fact, he said that from what they observed, because they had well over 200 people on ground, and they had a method to analyzing what transpired. They said 10% of the votes was taken from a particular party and given to the party that won. He's on record on television last night. So, look, Osa, we can't say this enough. INEC has been given so much money. Every year or every election cycle, so much money is budgeted. INEC said it is investing in technology, BVAS, IREV, everything. The idea is to see people or to have people see that result real time, so that if you go to the distance, you are accredited, election is finished, as at 6 p.m. on Saturday, over 90% of the results had been uploaded on the IREV. So people had access to what the result was in Edo State. How come that the so-called result that was announced by INEC on Sunday did not tally with what is uploaded on the IREV, which is still there? How come that when you go for election, BVAS is used in accreditation? At the end of the day, 100 people, for instance, get accredited to vote. Then when election result comes out, a political party will score 500, where only 100 people
we are accredited
to vote. So it doesn't make sense. Look, elections in this country, I don't know. I'm not a politician, and I don't think I will ever go there and present myself and say I'm contesting an election under this mess. This is not a democracy. I continue saying that this is not a democracy. Look, democracy as defined by the former president of America, Abraham Lincoln, in his Gettysburg speech, government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Here we have a so-called democracy that the people content is missing. The people content is missing. And that's the only thing democracy guarantees you. Democracy is not a guarantee that the best will win. No. But the people must decide who governs them. That is the idea. So if at the end of the day the people decide that a fool is who they want, so be it. Perhaps 4 years down the road, when they realize that they have elected a fool, they may change.
No, but there's also, the possibilities of impeaching, this fool in court, like you've mentioned. You don't even need to wait 4 years, and that's one of the beauties of democracy as well.
Yes, also, ideally, that should be. But of course, that in Nigeria, who are you going to impeach? Your governor?
No, I'm just expressing,
Yeah, I know.
Democracy, yeah.
I know. Those are the processes.
Yeah.
And it is legitimate. And that's why, I think it was on this station that I did say the other time, that those who are now saying that the protesters are calling for a regime change, I said there's nothing unconstitutional about that. The Constitution provides ways of changing a government. It is not only during election, like you have rightly pointed out now. Yeah. If somebody is not doing what he or she was elected to do, the people reserve the right through their representatives in the legislature to impeach. Yeah. It is a constitutional duty. So to say that people are calling for regime change in a democracy that you have to wait until the next election cycle, that is not correct. So you see, we've gone to, if we go back to Edo, and people have been told to go to court. If I were the so-called losers, I will not go.
So that means I'm taking it that if you do not have faith that the court will be able to restore whatever injustice or undo whatever injustice has been done, you obviously still do not have faith in the incoming Ondo elections?
Where should the faith come from? Look, let me... Barrister Okutepa, he's a senior advocate of Nigeria, and he has been there in the courts over the years defending those who they say lost elections in Nigeria. I'm going to read for you the conclusion of an article that he published yesterday. He said, listen, for me, he said, it is therefore my proposal to all losers in quote, of elections in Nigeria not to waste time and resources to file election petitions because it is easier for an elephant to go through the eyes of the needle than for anyone who was robbed of victories in our elections to get immediate remedies and electoral justice. Technicalities are now being used to aid and abet the fraudulent democratic processes in Nigeria. This is the reality of the matter. This is the senior advocate of Nigeria. Wow. So, go to court now. Which court? The courts that have elevated technicalities to an act that you're not even able to present the so-called case. In any case, it is INEC, the same INEC, that has done its worst again, that you are going to depend on to get materials to prosecute your case, to prove that the election they conducted was not done properly.
Yeah. All right.
How can that be?
Yeah. Okay. Let's just quickly mention that we're now ready to take phone calls. So if you'd like to call in and react to any of the stories or contribute to any of the stories, the number to call is on your TV screen. We want to hear your thoughts. If you're in Edo State, what's the mood like? Is it a mood of jubilation or is it one of despair? Let us know what your thoughts are regarding that. Yeah. I want us to move away from that conversation to something I saw in the Punch newspaper. Pro-Fubara local government caretaker chairman dump PDP for APP. Is it safe to say the plot has thickened in Rivers State?
I think so. I've not actually read that story, so I can't, on my own, confirm what the move is all about. But if it is true that they have left PDP for APP, then, of course, you know there have always been this rumor there that Fubara...
Yeah, would also dump. Yeah, I think that's also what the Punch reports.
Here we dump PDP because he feels he has not gotten the kind of support he needs to get. PDP is... I remember, was it about a month ago, here, and when you guys asked me whether PDP will now discipline...
Nyesom Wike. And you said that it is Nyesom Wike that will discipline...
And I said it is rather Nyesom Wike that will discipline PDP. Also, you remember? Yeah. And you were smiling. The truth of the matter is that it is Wike that is disciplining PDP.
Was he in Edo State for the election campaign? I don't remember.
No, no, he does not need to be there.
Yeah.
He wasn't, but his cousin is the resident electoral commissioner for crying out loud. His cousin is the resident electoral commissioner. Look, even for the purposes of fair play and building confidence, even in court, when a judge who has any kind of relationship with the people who are appearing before him, he excuses himself.
Just hold on. Let's speak. Mr. Chiozo, good morning. Welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, my brother.
Go ahead quickly.
Yeah, it's unfortunate what is happening in this country now, and yet people are not aware of the danger APC government is causing. APC government is more like a cult, and they don't have any vision. They are a bunch of aberos, bunch of 419 members.
All right.
And they would never allow you to play your own game. They would never allow anything to be fair in Nigeria. Rather, what they do is to monopolize everywhere, make sure that they intimidate you. They do all sorts of nonsense to make sure that they are pressing people down until the last blood is dropped. The earlier Nigerians took away APC government, the better for us.
All right.
You guys should watch out.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Make sure they counter everywhere.
All right.
From A to Z, they have to make sure that they ridicule people and what have you. APC government is a killer. But the Nigerians realize that and fight for their lives now before it's late.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Chiozo.
That's what it is to give you any British speak.
All right. Thank you very much.
We'd like to remain in power.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Chiozo.
That is.
All right. Just like to remind our viewers, you need to also watch your language while making your contributions to the program. Nothing, he has necessarily said is illegal, but, please watch your language.
All right. I think we can wrap up without just quickly mentioning Kogi Assembly calling for the sack of or the resignation of EFCC Chair Olukoyede. Did you see that? The laughter.
Again, it is this... I don't know how to put it, but Nigeria is becoming a laughing stock. Most times I shiver when I think about what other countries think and feel about what is going on in Nigeria. We have an EFCC whose chairman, Olukorede, vowed on public TV that unless and until he arrests the former governor of Kogi State, that he would rather resign than to stay and not accomplish the task of bringing Yahaya Bello to justice. That was almost 4 or 5 months ago. Yahaya Bello has been there. Nobody has arrested him. Of course, now they claim they don't know where he is. And all of a sudden, this man, on his own, came to EFCC office and said he wanted to answer the summons. Yeah. And they told him to go. This is a man who is on wanted list. He's a wanted man. EFCC said they have even contacted Interpol.
Well,
Yahaya Bello is a wanted man.
You know what?
And the man came, and you allowed him to go, only to stage a drama later in the evening of that day to go.
You know what? Let's hold our reaction. He's scheduled to appear in court tomorrow, the 25th. All fingers crossed, we'll see that he appears. And if he doesn't appear, then we'll have you again. Come and do another reaction to what the next steps are. If this is going to be something that will be seen to the end, or if it will be another joke. It's always a pleasure to have you join us on the show. Thank you so much for your time.
Olive, in fact, it is disheartening talking about Nigeria. And you know what? It is only going to get worse. I don't know the percentage that voted, they say about 22%.
22%.
That voted in Edo election. Less than what voted, the average that voted in 2023 And it is only going to get worse because people are not going out there to vote. You'll even be surprised if you get people who, a politician, an A-list politician called me on Sunday. He wants to contest the governorship in one of the states. I will mention the state so that I don't give him away. He said, my brother, I don't think it is any use going to contest election in Nigeria again. Well, that is where we are.
And that is where we'll end things for now. We